Hey everyone, it's Dustin with TechMD. Today we're coming at you at iPhone 12 Pro. That's the triple cameras. If you have double, it's the Pro, or excuse me, 12 or 12 Mini. So the Pro is a little bit better. As you can see here, we got a little bit of a crack, and we're going to go ahead and start removing it. Normally I operate at 120 degrees Celsius, but today I moved the device down to, the hot pad down to 95 degrees Celsius. So the first 12 Pro Max, it yellowed a little bit pulling it off, and I want to make sure that we can reserve these screens to make sure that they don't go bad. I will show you the hot pad. I'll show you a hot pad that I'm using, and you can purchase any of these parts on the link in the description. So this is how the parts come. Currently they are showing as refurbished, but they're technically all original. They can't say it on the website because they're not allowed to sell original parts, but they're all original, and eventually they will come refurbished. So this is the 12 Pro and 12, same screen, exact. So it's kind of ridiculous, but that's how they operate. All right, so we're going to be transferring all the components from the other screen over to here once we warm it up. You're going to wait about 5 minutes, and you're going to need an iFlex tool, and that's the best one to really get in. iseasmo tool, also pentalobe, and 00 screwdriver, tri-point, which is a Y000, or also known as a tri-point, and maybe a plastic tool to help separate some of the cables. You just want to be really careful. This is really not for the amateur, but if you want to go ahead and take your calculated risk, you can. I'd still recommend for a brand new 12 Pro to go to Apple. After a year, yeah, go ahead and do it. The prices will drop, but currently prices are very expensive to do these repairs, and you know, it's what it is. Okay, so after you've warmed it up and turned off the phone, if you can, it's not critical, you're going to grab like a heat resistant glove, or I just use a microfiber rag, and you're going to take off these pentalobe screws. I use grip drivers. It's some of the best. They're smooth, they're precise, and they do the job. But I also have the 2UUL. Those are great drivers as well. All these tools and screwdrivers are on the website in the link in the description. Sorry, I was running. So this screen is super close to where the frame is, so you have to have a very thin tool to get in here. If you want to recycle your screen, you can contact Injured Gadgets, where you can buy all these parts, and they can tell you how much your bad screen's worth. You know, it could be $5, could be $100. I can't tell you exactly what they're worth because I don't know. So I'm using a little bit less heat this time around, trying to get in here without too much effort, but without burning that screen. You can use a heat gun, but I don't like heat guns because they're uncontrolled. And this is the same exact fill as the 12 Pro I did. It's pretty hard to actually get in there. But using this tool here, the iFlex tool, to actually help separate that glue is very helpful. Of course, the tool is bent a little bit because it's very tight in that area. Run your other tool here along the side. Now if you're trying to get in this with and your screen's not broken and you're just trying to get into it, you can use a suction cup, but this video is not about a suction cup here. So it's already cooled down a little bit. I'm going to put it down a little bit longer and wait for a few minutes, but it's already starting to come up. As you can see, I'm going along the edge with the iseasmo tool and slowly prying. Okay, so now that we've warmed it up a little bit more, just get it to hot to the touch. so you can barely touch it, and my hands can actually handle this. It's not too bad.
Is that Celsius or Fahrenheit?
That's Celsius. Yeah, I thought I said Celsius. 95 degrees Celsius on the hot pad. Unfortunately, it doesn't do Fahrenheit, so you just got to convert it in your head. So I'm just trying to get around these corners here and just slowly lift. But I don't dive in too deep because I don't want to damage the screen any further. I only have one of these screens, and then of course one of my own personal screens. So ideally, if I do have a problem with the new screen, I can still put his broken screen back on and say, oh, unfortunately my screen's bad. So you're going to only order one too, because these screens are very expensive. But I always have a backup plan upon a backup plan. So I actually have the Pro and Pro Max just in case. So this actually folds open like this instead of the other direction. So be aware of that. Forgot. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take some of these tri-point screws loose. Move the bracket out of the way. There's the battery connector. We're going to disconnect the battery. You can get these little plastic tools once again on the website in the link description. Never recommend buying parts on Amazon. You're going to only get crappy B quality. So highly recommend buying it from us, and you're supporting us. So please do that. Also, it motivates me to keep on making cool detailed videos for you guys at home. So, that's another reason to buy. And plus, you're buying quality. Buying exactly what you're buying. If you don't already know this, I could take my brand new iPhone 12 Pro and put it on his phone and vice versa. And unfortunately, Apple has made it where they're going to say, hey, we can't tell if this is an Apple original display, and warns the customer. And that popped up for about 4 days, and you just click learn more and then it goes away. It's very irritating, and I get why Apple did it. They want to make sure that the customers are aware that their screen has been replaced, but it's unfortunate that Apple won't let us verify the display unless you're IRP program. But being an IRP program, it really is bad. They watch everything you do, and you can't really offer anything else. So we are not really interested in doing any of that, unless Apple changes their ways, but it's unlikely. Unless we can get right to repair bill to pass, then we could change. I was actually on the local news, if you guys watched my previous few videos back, about right to repair, and Louis Rosman is trying to build up funding. I think he needs $26 million to put just a bill on the ballot. So if you're interested in keep on getting your devices fixed by yourself or guys like us, then I'd highly recommend going in there and throwing $5-10 his way, because really it affects everything: your refrigerators, microwaves, stoves, cars, what else? Just anything electronic, like even John Deere is like one of the worst ones I've heard. Basically what they want, like Tesla, right? They want you to go to them to get anything maintenance. So, John Doe down the road can't maintenance your car, your Tesla car, or any vehicles, is what their goal is, right? So we don't want to do that. We want to be able to keep on repairing our own devices, electronics, and cars, and you name it. My appliance guy has also told me, he said, don't buy Samsung fridges or LG fridges. Stick with Whirlpool, blah, 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 and some other brands he was telling me about. And so I did, because if they ever break down, he said the parts are impossible to get a hold of, and it's very expensive to hire Samsung certified guy to fix your fridge. It's like, why can't my appliance guy fix it, So that's the issue that's going on here. So what we're waiting for here is the screen to warm up, And so I can separate these cables very carefully. If you mess up any of these cables, not really the bottom ones because that can break the screen, but if you mess up that top cable that was pulling off of the screen here, this one up here, no more Face ID, no more ear speaker and your microphone that is on your speakerphone, that won't work, and your like light sensors and stuff like that, it just won't work. You'll have to replace the cable, but you'll lose Face ID because of the security. And unfortunately, due to the right to repair thing, we can't do anything about it. Not yet, but the goal is we can. You know, I throw this out there constantly to Apple. You know, like, hey, there's no reason why someone can't replace cables, Face ID cables, or even the ear speaker cables, these flood sensor cables, replace them, and then guess what? Do a factory data reset on the phone. All the data is erased, and let Apple reprogram it remotely when you're activating the phone. What is so wrong with that? I don't know. It just seems like, because they're all worried about security and stuff. So I think there is a simple solution for it, but they don't want you to fix their devices. They're very upset about it in general. They would prefer no one to fixing it. Yeah, they want you to buy new ones. Exactly. You know, it's like, okay, not everyone can afford a new one. You know, sometimes you just want to get a part and get it fixed. I don't recommend getting aftermarket parts ever, guys. Always stick with Apple Original. It's always going to be the safest bet and highest quality, and it's going to last a lot longer. And it has a stronger glass on it. Okay, so I'm just carefully removing this, guys. As you can see, nice and slow. Just take your time, but make sure it was nice and warmed up. Okay, so we carefully remove that, and then we can put this in the box. And then, like I said, you can ask Gadgets if you can sell them your broken screen. It could be worth a couple bucks. It could be worth, I don't know, $100. I don't know what these are worth. I just basically put them all in a big giant box and ship them off every other month. It's good for the environment. It's good for recycling, and eventually, you know, some of these devices can be, you know, renewed. Some of the cables, maybe the LCD panel or the OLED panel, you know, who knows what it can be recycled. I don't know if this is good or not, but I just give it to them anyways because I know it's going to go to a good spot to get recycled. And just highly recommend doing that, guys. So we're going to go ahead and just take off the generic piece of plastic, just letting you know it's brand new. Nothing really spectacular about that. You can go ahead and turn off your hot pad. You don't really need that. And we're going to carefully move these cables in. Plug that in here. And be nice to have some tweezers here. Connect that, and we're going to connect this right here. This looks just like the 12 Pro Max. So if you have a 12 Pro Max and you haven't found a video for it, this works just fine as well. Really hasn't been much of a difference. Okay, then the screws that I have nice and organized over here, I'm going to put back on. And it looks like the two left ones are regular Phillips. And then the two right ones are regular Phillips. The two left ones are tri-point. If you guys don't have an Apple store near you or a repair shop near you, you can send your phone in to us and we'd be glad to fix that up for you. Just go to our website and find that information. That's the TechMD website. For the parts, remember it's the Gadgets link down in the description. Okay. I'm getting all disoriented because this is different than how Apple phones normally go together. So I'm just making sure the connection is lined up and I kind of feel it and then it clicks in very softly. So this piece here has a little gap angle here. And it has this little hooky right here as well. And so this little hooky hooks under there, or right here, excuse me. So what you're going to do is angle it like this and then close it down. So I am usually do this with my left hand, and since I have to do this with my right hand, it's fun. If you're left-handed, you should be able to do this, but if you're right-handed, I'll just get like something to hold it. That's my credit card reader. And I'm just going to set it right there and have it held. So I have two free hands anyways. So put the screw on the top of your tri point and just plug it in. And then don't screw it in all the way because we want to make sure the alignment is good. Now, all his adhesive is still original and looks great. It's brand new, and I didn't remove any. But if you do need to replace the adhesive, it comes with this here. So if you're lifting up the screen and all the adhesive starts pulling off, go ahead and do this. Okay. All you have to do to reseal this is warm it up a little bit with some heat, which turned it off, and press down for about 30 seconds. And that'll help reseal that glue. Not seal, but seal. Little piece of plastic on the edge of this cable. Just gonna move that carefully. All right, so next, move that battery cable out of the way a little bit. So what I'm doing is carefully just hovering the cable over until I feel it line up to the connectors. It's kind of hard to see this, I'm sure, on camera. So once I feel it line up, then I just press it in and click. You can hear it almost click in there. It's really quiet, but you can hear it. All right. So at this point you could turn it on and test it. I don't have a lot of time to mess around with that. I'm going to test it after I plug it all together. So we're going to carefully put it on and check alignment here as we do it. You feel it close in there. Now that we got that all clicked on here. What's your pen?
996933. 996933.
Oh, that's the message. So this is the message. Important display. You click and look more. And then click look more if you want. Learn more. Ugh, brain work. And so the goal here is to make sure it's fully functioning. And you're going to test everywhere. I also like to do this. And you can see the little arrow running around everywhere. And we're going to test the front camera, and because we messed around with that. Yeah, and I thought I seen a piece of plastic on there. It's looking a little peachy. So what we're gonna do is pop that off and remove the piece of plastic that's covering it. I don't know if you guys can catch that on camera, but unfortunately, I can make a mistake. It's really annoying when they put something on there. So I haven't sealed it yet, so that's great. Come off really easy. Now with this tolerance on this phone, it's so thin that if you damage and ding it inward, you're going to have to bend it outward with tools or replace the frame, which could cost some dollars. I've actually never seen this done before. Not sure why they would have done this. It's almost like there's a piece of plastic on there.
There's some sharper tweezers.
I got sharp tweezers. I wouldn't want to I wouldn't want to scratch this. That would be a problem.
Just get to the edge.
Yep. So it looks like they put this piece of plastic on there. Apple and their fun tricks. I got it off. We're good. Yeah, I just got to get the second one now.
You sure?
Yeah, I got the first one. So, like I said, I got some sharp tweezers if I need them. Okay, so there's the second piece of plastic lifting up. They must be super sensitive. That's why they're doing it. That's the only thing I can think of. Oh, man. I did it over there too. There's the front camera one. Yeah, that looks way better now. Yep. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and put the bottom pentalobe screws on. Check everything. And I need a magnet. This little thing here will make your life really nice. Rotate your screwdriver around there and we'll be able to put the pentalobe screw in. You gotta have it really magnetized in order to do that. You don't want to strip it, so you don't want to go too tight. Because if you strip it, then you will never be getting back in this phone. So after you're done testing everything you need to test, so like Face ID, front camera, go ahead.
Face ID?
No, first enter. Yep.
So
Now hit the power button. Hit the power button once. Okay, do it again. And check Face ID. Good. Okay, so Face ID is working. It's always critical. And we got front camera action. Not a problem. So another thing you could do is test all the sensors, make a phone call, make sure it blinks out. So I'm going to call myself real quick and just make sure it blinks out. You can see it blinking out here in 1 second. So we go like this. You can see the screen blinking out when you put it near your ear. So as you can see, it's fully functioning, guys, except for that notification. Like I said, it should go away after 4 days, but it will always permanently be in your settings, which I can't show you because it has all his personal settings information. So we're not going to do that today. Okay, guys. Now remember, turn off the phone and put it down on the hot press for a good full minute and just press down. And that's going to actually get that glue nice and sticky again and stick to that new frame. If you're super like worried about it or you didn't get a sticker, use T7000. It's a sealant, but it is very messy, so you want to use a very little bit on it. You can look at some of my other videos about how T7000 goes on the S21 Ultra. It's pretty much the same thing, just go around the edges with it. Anyways, guys, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will be possibly doing some highly edited, fast videos in the future. So yeah, if you guys like it, let me know. Thanks.